Welcome back to the High School Sports Page, brought to you by the Burns Insurance Group. Terry and I are going to take a look at the 2A and 1A polls we put together each week. 4A, 3A, and 2A, Terry, I had no changes. Boyd, Tresvant, Adamsville, Marion, Hampton, they all won last week.
You're making it easy on me, Murphy.
No, they're making it easy on me.
Same thing in 2A, really, in the mid-state, rather. Waverly and Forest, 1 and 2, both had big wins. Even though the Purple Tigers of Watertown came up short against Forest, Murphy, I still got them at number 3 this week. Still a good football team.
Lots of people coming up short against the Forest Rockets.
That's exactly right.
In 1A, I do have a few changes. With Peabody falling to Dresden, 39-0. Dresden moves from number 3 to number 2, and Peabody, already a loser to Union City, falls out of my top 5 list. League rival Union City still at number 1, the 2-time defending state champion. By the way, the Tornadoes entertain Dresden next week. Terry, I just might have to go to that ball game.
I was going to say, your itinerary may lead you west.
I think so.
In mid-state poll, no change. Columbia Academy, Nashville Christian, Wayne County, Huntington, and Joe Burns all had one-sided wins. In 2 weeks, though, Murphy, it's Wayne County and Huntington. That's a huge showdown in Region 6-1A. Be ready for that one.
All across the state, all classifications, there are some incredibly huge football games still to be played before we get to the postseason. But right now we're going to talk to Scott Tillman, the head football coach at Lipscomb Academy. Scott, nice to have you with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Scott, last week you had a big regional win over Montgomery Central. Congratulations for that win. You're the only team now in Region 6-4A without a loss, a league loss that is, and but you still got 2 regional opponents, 2 tough ball games coming up with Kenwood and Hillwood, so still a lot of work to be done for your team.
No doubt. You know, Montgomery Central was really tough, and they were in an offense that was awful difficult to defend, and we were very fortunate to come away with a win in the rain. And you know, of course, Hillwood is much improved, and you know, everybody says how good they are athletically and throwing it all over the yard. And then Kenwood, I've seen on tape, and they're very good. Brian does a great job up there with those guys.
Coach, you were an assistant coach at Lipscomb for about 2 decades, and then the untimely passing of iconic coach, if there ever was an iconic coach, Glenn McAdams was it. And you were elevated to the head coaching position. Nobody takes Glenn's place, but you're the new head coach. What has that transition been like? I would assume in a lot of ways very difficult, but at the same time I think maybe Coach Mack was maybe grooming you for that.
Well, you know, it's just one of those things, you know. I mean, we all miss Coach Mack and wish he were still around. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame for a reason. I think he's the greatest high school football coach to ever coach in the state of Tennessee. And I know that's saying a lot, but just the way he molded young men and the character that he showed. And we still talk about him an awful lot. And you know, you can't not talk about Coach McAdams. And, you know, you think about it's probably very similar to the way the folks in Alabama feel about Bear Bryant. You know, and it's just a part of who we are. And you know, we're very thankful for the life he lived and the way he influenced us. And, you know, our whole staff coached under him. And we probably all still kind of think we're Coach Mack's boys. And, you know, we hope that he's on Friday nights up there high-fiving Jesus and, you know, happy with what we're trying to do, you know.
Scott, with the new reclassification this season, the new regional alignments and so forth, your team is playing. You're playing 8 games against teams that you didn't play last year. How difficult has that been for you to prepare for those teams, not having faced them maybe in some time, some of those?
Well, I mean, it is difficult because you hadn't seen them. You don't know really what to expect. But there's also an excitement to it. You know, new opponents that maybe your kids haven't played, and so I would think the excitement outweighs the nervousness of trying to prepare for someone that you've seen every year. And you know, with huddle and other things and trading film, you know, you just do your thing. And really, I think, you know, Charles said it in the earlier segment, you really work on yourself, and then you try to defend what you see, and hopefully you get better a little bit each week.
Coach, over the years, Lipscomb has gone east and they've gone west in the playoff brackets. This year you're going west, so you're going to be in the bottom part of that bracket. But the way things have lined up, assuming you get to the quarterfinals, all of your opponents are going to be next-door neighbors for the most part. It was kind of that way last year, playing teams like Pearl Cone and others Do you like that, or would you rather be going a little bit farther, facing somebody maybe that you don't know so well and they don't know so much about you?
Well, I mean, Pearl Cone is, as good as anybody there is, and so it wouldn't hurt my feelings if we were going away from them for a little while. But I mean,
of course, they're 4A and you're 3A, so you don't have to worry about that.
We're
right?
4A. We're 4A.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Okay.
We could face them possibly, and we know how good they are, and it's all part of the experience. You're glad you don't have to travel far if that's the case. But you're going to have to beat good people no matter which way you go. Tennessee has just become such a great football state, and we have college coaches coming in all the time that talk about how much talent is in the state of Tennessee that they're starting to see, and so you're going to play good teams no matter what. And if you just get prepared and try to get your kids to go as much as they can.
Well, and Lipscomb travels very well too, so if you don't have to make a 3-hour trek instead of a 30-minute trek, that's just that much more support in the stands too.
Absolutely. Right now I just hope it doesn't rain on a Friday night. It seems like every Friday night we've played, it's been a gully washer. So,
Coach, with the new regulations that the TSSAA's Legislative Council drew up a few weeks ago, it appears possibly that a public-private split is going to happen in a couple of years. How does this affect Lipscomb Academy, and also what are your thoughts on that?
Well, we've always felt like we're a public school that you have to pay to go to. And even all the regulations that they presented, it didn't really affect us because we don't do work study and those other things. And we've always thought, don't kick us out, because we've tried to be a good neighbor and a good opponent and doing it the right way. And I wish we would just, if there's accusations against schools, I wish we would investigate those schools and do those type of things. And we're just going to have to see what happens. We hope they don't kick us out. We like where we are. We like to have an opportunity to choose. And, we like, what we say, hopefully doing it the right way.
One of the options that I have heard discussed is that the dozen or so private schools that are currently playing Division I might end up becoming a third division or a third classification of Division II. Because you all have more in common with each other than the folks that are already in Division II.
Yeah, I think there are 22 schools that are in Division I right now, and I think 2 of those don't play football. And there's some size issues with some schools, and for us, I mean, we're one of the biggest private schools. Right under 1,300 students, K through 12. But I do think it would change the mission of our school if you put us into a league with those bigger private schools that give so much financial aid that really we can't afford to do. Most people don't understand. Most of our families are upper middle class families that make sacrifices for their kids to be at our school, and so we're hoping that doesn't change. And that we're staying where we are. And again, we like the ability to choose, and hopefully continue to do it the right way. And that's what our hopes are.
Coach, we've got about 2 minutes left, and I want to devote that to a building program that you have on campus that I just found about Friday night when I was there last week. The MAC, the McAdams Athletic Complex. I think October 20th is a magical day as we progress toward that becoming a reality.
Right, October 20th is a big fundraiser day for us. We're going to have it at Willowbrook Farm. You can find out about that by going to www.lipscomb.edu/MAC, M-A-C, McAdams Athletic Center. And it's going to be a really special place, named after, of course, Coach McAdams, deservingly so. And it's going to be an indoor facility that's going to be a 40 by 40 indoor facility. It's going to have girls cross-country locker rooms in it. It's going to have new public restrooms, and it's going to have a media room and a terrace that overlooks the field. I'm extremely excited about it. And then after that facility is completed, we think by the beginning of next school year, football season, the next project will be renovating the current stadium that's there and adding a new weight room onto the back of it. It's exciting times at Lipscomb in athletics.
Exciting times, and so fitting that Glenn's name will be attached to that facility, and I know he would be very happy to see that happen. And check that out, lipscomb.edu/MAC, MAC, M-A-C. You can find out anything and everything you want to know about that situation. Scott, thanks for being with us tonight. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks. We appreciate every time and everything y'all do for high school football. We thank you.
We have a good time doing it. We're going to take one more break. We're going to look at some highlights of Beach versus Gallatin. Beach, a big winner in that one, and we'll be back with more of the High School Sports Page, brought to you by the Burns Insurance Group, right after this.